Pokemon Game Freak got hacked, apparently. And it's not even like a small hack. Apparently, this is like some kind of huge, just tera leak, essentially, is what everyone's like nicknaming it. I mean, I'm not going to show anything. I'm not showing anything. I do not need Nintendo and Pokemon coming after our butts, okay? But there is apparently leaks that go into what they are calling the Switch 2/Switch Pro. They are going into the upcoming 10th gen game, apparently. It's going over some other side projects that they're apparently working on, including one that has to somehow be related to Splatoon. I don't even know how that's even possible. And yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Because if you think about something like, for example, the 10th gen game, right? Like, I don't think the concept of a 10th gen Pokemon game is really that big of news. It's Pokemon, the next, set of Pokemon are going to come out. Shocker, I know, right? It's the fact that it's now leaked before we're supposed to be getting that Arceus Z game or whatever. And so that is, I think, where everyone's just like, wait, hang on. Are we getting a 10th gen first and then the Z game? Are we going to get Z first, which most of us are assuming? Are we going to see Z first and then we're going to see 10th gen? A lot of people are obviously super hyped about a Switch 2/Switch Pro because it's a lot more power compared to what the current Switch is. And if you all remember the 9th gen games, aka Scarlet and Violet, those ran like absolute ass. I don't care how much you love Pokemon. If you are defending the performance of Scarlet and Violet, you need to go touch grass because they were absolutely atrocious. Even the DLC didn't fix anything, which I knew it wouldn't, which I never actually bought the DLC. But Lemon, I know you did personally. I don't know how much fun you had with it, but
it was great. But it ran like ass.
Okay, it did run like ass though. So
yeah, it did. That part did not change. The rest of it did, but that part did not change.
Right, exactly. So it's just interesting though, the fact that, I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. Game Freak, which has probably the biggest IP in the world, Pokemon, right? Like, it is literally, it brings in billions and billions of dollars every probably quarter or whatever. I don't know what their financials are or anything, but regardless, they can literally just reveal a new Pikachu card or something, or a ghastly, whatever download thing, and yeah, people are going to eat it up and millions. I mean, again, that's why, even though you see people complain about performances for every Pokemon game that comes out every single year, they still make what, $12 million within a day? Didn't Scarlet and Violet set records for them? Because it was on a really popular platform, aka the Switch, and it sold like 12 million copies between the two in like 24 hours, maybe 48 hours. I don't remember exactly, but it sells obviously super well. So you would think that maybe they'd invest a little bit of money into some cybersecurity, but then again, this is Nintendo, and Nintendo is notorious for having just crap online stuff and being behind the curve when it comes to that type of thing. But just at the same time, I feel like maybe hackers are just getting better when it comes to all this stuff. I mean, we saw the Insomniac leaks from last year where they showed off, a very early build of what the new Wolverine game is supposed to be. It even talked about some DLC for Spider-Man 2, which, based on what happened with the hack and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if that did get canceled. A lot of people were expecting to see that DLC at the last state of play for PlayStation, but they didn't show anything. I wouldn't be surprised if simply the DLC was canceled, or they just said, nope, we're not going to do it right now. Focus on the Wolverine game / Spider-Man 3, because obviously they have different teams working on that and everything like that. So, plus they're probably still trying to come back from having canceled the online Spider-Man game, which I know we're getting completely off topic here from Pokemon talk, but I'm glad they at least got rid of that stuff. So, but regardless though, the connection there is the fact that Insomniac got hacked, and there's a lot of stuff we saw in there and we're expecting to see, but we're not, because it's getting canceled. They're just simply moving on from it, or it was only concept stuff and they're just going to move on and do whatever else. Pokemon here, I would not be surprised if some of the stuff that we see in these leaks, again, you can go and Google it, all that stuff. I'm not going to put it up on screen for you or anything like that, because again, I don't need Nintendo and Game Freak coming after my butt, especially because I live in the country that they are in, and it'd be super easy to find me. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these side projects got canceled, or they're just simply concepts. They're in the very early stages of things, and they're just going to be like, this doesn't actually work that well. Okay, just throw out, the Z game and then the 10th gen game, obviously, right? Because those are going to make tons of money and everything like that. And I will even say myself, I'm excited to see what the Arceus Z game is going to be. I personally loved Legends of Arceus. I personally thought it was way better than Scarlet and Violet in terms of the whole how the open world works. I liked sneaking around, trying to capture Pokemon from behind, and all that stuff. I actually really liked that concept.
Jeez.
I like.
There's no gyms in it. There's no gyms.
So what?
That's the whole point. Pokemon is to fight the gyms.
Let's be perfectly honest here. If you have played any amount of any kind of RPG, turn-based, any Pokemon game since you were a kid, gyms are a joke. They literally are. They're a joke.
You go to the gyms to go fight the Pokemon League, guy. Come on, that's how it goes.
Yeah, we've been doing that since you and I were, what, 5-6 years old when Red and Blue were out?
There is a tradition that we must follow, Tallen.
Time to move on. Time to move on. Things change. Things improve over time. Somewhat. Pokemon, unfortunately, hasn't, not all the time. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what comes out from after seeing all these leaks and everything like that. Like in a year or two, we're going to see trailers for obviously 10th gen and the Z game and everything like that. But I will caution some people for this right now. Do not expect to see every single thing from that Tera leak that's going around the internet right now. If there's, especially for things like side games, however they were trying to connect Pokemon with Splatoon or something like that to try and make some kind of more action game or something like that, don't be surprised if that gets canned. If there is another, small MMO style project that they work on with Pokemon, or something connecting with a different company that has generally never worked with them, don't expect that to potentially get canceled. I'm just saying, don't expect it 100%. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, though, don't be surprised is what I'm simply trying to say. Heck, even the company that worked on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they are working right now with Pokemon on something. And a lot of that, because there's also like some code apparently that came out, or that was leaked essentially for Gold and Silver, the newer versions, not the originals, but the older one or the newer ones. So a lot of people are trying to speculate, like, is the smaller company that worked on the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remasters, remakes, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them remasters because they're literally just chibi versions of those games that we had beforehand. I know a lot of people didn't like those games for some reason. I personally liked them because Diamond and Pearl are some of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. So I know there are technically some things missing from those games, but I personally enjoyed it. But a lot of people are wondering, okay, are they going to be making that similar type of game now for the Switch 2, or that could easily be a Switch 2 Pro style type of game, cross-gen essentially. Are they making that for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or are they doing it with Black? I think Black and White 2 code was also leaked or something like that. So potentially they're working on a Black 2, White 2 chibi form essentially, just like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. We're not really sure. Lemon, I know you personally loved Black and White, or
sign me up.
Yeah, but was it Black and White, or was it Black and White 2? I don't remember exactly which one you liked better.
Yes.
Okay. I
like them both.
Like them both.
I think they're both good.
So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with those personally. I always have a soft spot for Silver, but I know Soul Silver's been out for quite a while. I think you can buy it on the 3DS. It's not on Switch. I know that. If they
you're talking the OG Silver. Yeah.
No, the Soul Silver or Heart Gold. Those are on the 3DS if I remember correctly. Or maybe they're on the Switch. DS,
and you have to sell the high seas unless you want to pay a couple $100s for it.
Right. Okay. So I was excited. So who knows? Maybe in the next couple years we do see Heart Gold and Soul Silver come to the Switch/Switch 2 Pro, because those could easily be cross-gen, especially if they're in the form that we saw with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Same with Black 2 and White 2. We could easily see that. And then whatever 10th gen turns out to be. But with Game Freak's track record, don't be surprised if we see that, hey, it still runs like shit. Because let's be perfectly honest, Pokemon games are not meant to, raise the bar or anything like that. And people still buy them in the millions, unfortunately, because as much as I would love to say, yeah, a Pokemon game actually does not have any bugs or glitches, or it actually runs really well and not running at 10 frames a second, I don't expect anything to change, just because, again, it's Pokemon. It always has been. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But Lemon, what would you personally like to see? Based on what we've briefly talked about here, what would you like to see? Would you like to see the Black and White 2 in the chibi form, or would you like to see a full remake a la Scarlet and Violet looking like, or would you like to see, what would you like to see essentially from all these? Just want to get your personal opinion.
Probably the chibi form.
Chibi form.
I don't want them to spend too much time on it. I think the original generation, I think it was 8. It was 7. whatever generation that was. I thought it was
I
a
think
really,
it was
really good
7?
generation.
No, was it 6? No, Black and White was 6, wasn't it? No,
I
don't
don't
remember. It's again,
honestly.
asking generations is so for us who grew up with Pokemon. We've been through so many generations. We're just like, wasn't that 5? No, that was 7. No, that was 6. No, that was 9. I don't know. So regardless, though, we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen with the Pokemon stuff. But
yeah.
I'm more interested in how Game Freak is going to address this. I doubt they will address it. They never really address things. But if they do end up addressing stuff, or we're going to see a bunch of people talk about it in videos and everything, and the next thing you know, we're going to then see a wave of news where they basically came in, and if you even mention Pokemon, not even showing anything, that all of a sudden everything gets taken down. So who knows? Maybe this video has been copyright struck already. I don't know. We'll have to wait.
Way to go, Tallen.
I know, right?
You're trying to make the money, do shit like this. Come on now, guy.
I know.
This leak is kind of crazy because it's not really as sensational as people make it out to be. Like the source code leaks, it is what it is.
Right.
But in terms of leaking, things are coming out. A MMO style Pokemon game or an action Pokemon style game. They have that MOBA Pokemon game, so it's not unusual to see shit like that.
No, it's not. It's not unusual to see that stuff.
The fact they're gonna do a remake of a game again, not surprising. They've been doing that. There's a cadence for it, and there's gonna be a 10th generation. So far from this leak, I've heard nothing that I didn't already expect to have, be coming down the pipe.
Right. No, exactly.
It's nothing special. Like this seems like a nothing burger to me.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
I think it's just more the fact of the size of the leak and the fact that it got leaked, I think, is the big news essentially, right? Again, 10th gen, we know it's gonna come sometime. The Z game, it's already been revealed, so we know about it. Remaster / remake in a chibi form that we saw with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Yeah, why not? Because you're not having the main Game Freak team work on that. You're handing it off to another team to work on it. So that's not really a shock or anything. And again, we have MMO. We have an MMO style or MOBA. Sorry, not an MMO, a MOBA style Pokemon game already that's out. So we could see potentially something with that. Maybe some kind of action game. We've seen that in the past with Pokemon stuff. Does it sell amazingly? Not really, no. But it's just more side stuff, and it keeps Pokemon in the loop and in the know and all that stuff. So it's to be expected. Sniper Maniac says, I hated the chibi version of Pokemon Pearl. So I do want to ask this because, again, I see this all over online, and I know online and people meme on it and yada yada. But I do want and generally asking, because as somebody who was at that particular time, the Brilliant Diamond came out, and then my, at the time, girlfriend, but now wife, she actually ended up buying a Switch Lite, and she got Shining Pearl, and we actually, played together and everything. And again, it's Pokemon. I wasn't expecting some huge change up or anything. I wasn't, again, I know people said like certain like end game stuff, I guess, was cut or wasn't added in or something like that. But overall, you still got like 90% of the same game or something like that. And let's be perfectly honest, when most people play Pokemon games, they go through the gyms, they beat the Elite Four, they maybe do some side stuff, and then they done. Like, that's it, right? Unless you are some kind of hardcore Pokemon guy who does nothing but play Pokemon, or you're a content creator or something like that, most people don't even get into the end game stuff. So I am curious, what exactly is it that you did not like about that version? Did it run poorly? Did you like that you didn't like that they cut stuff? Let me know real quick. I am pretty curious. So size matters.
That's what she said.